Hi everybody. Once again, you are Isla. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be teaching you how to create database and table in SQL. As you can see, we have it here, creating database and table in SQL. Now, this is going to be a beginner friendly teaching, and as many of you that would like to learn SQL from the scratch, I think this video will be good for you. So I will be teaching you from basic to the advanced and also to the pro level, but I will be starting from the basic and I'm going to be teaching you step by step. Please, if you find this video interesting, if you come across this video and you find this video useful, please subscribe, please share, and please comment. Thank you. So the first thing I'm going to be teaching you is when you are working with SQL, you do is you are going to check the number of database that you have. And to do that, we are going to first of all type show database. Sometimes it's always good to probably use a capital letter or true. Sometimes you use a small letter. So when you see me using a capital letter in some area and a small letter in some area, it's not a mistake. So in SQL, you can use a small letter or true, and you can also use a capital letter or true. So show database, that is going to be the first thing we are going to be learning. Show database. You can see because already I have mine, I've been using it, so that is why it brings out show database. So I will just click my tab. So I have it already. So the next thing is I'm going to put my command, what you normally call it. So the next thing is I will run. I can control entered from my keyboard, or I come to this place. You can see this is execute selected portion of the script of everything. If there is no selected here, I can just execute the comment, the key customer. You understand? So I can easily run either with this or with this, and I'm using my SQL workbench. As you can see, this is my SQL workbench. So if you want me to make a video on how to download my SQL workbench, I will surely do that. Please, you can just put that in the comment if you want to probably learn how to download my SQL workbench, because that is what I'm currently using. As you can see, show database, that will show us the number of database that we have. So I'm going to either run from here, either run from here, either of the two. So I'm going to run from here. As you can see, these are the databases that I have. These are the database I have. You can see how some decorate, bookshop, IG clone. These are the several database that I have created. So that is the first thing that we are going to do. So since we've seen all these things, and peradventure I decide to use any of this database, I'm going to show you how to do that. So the second thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a database. So in order for you to not to make the show database to run, you can just use the something like this and put a space. So that means you are trying to highlight this out for it not to run. You can see that was what I did to the first line. So, and by the time I run the second one, the first one does not run. So the next thing is we are going to create a database. What is a database? You may ask me. Now, before you start using your SQL, you must have a database, because a database is just where you are going to be storing all your data, because you can't just go to SQL and started probably creating a data, started executing some data or whatever. You have to create a database first. So that is what we are going to do. So we are going to create a database, and we are going to create a database is just create a database. So We are going to create database. So this is create database, right? So showing red, it means incomplete statement. You can see it said the statement is incomplete, expecting an identifier. So you can see, so it's trying to tell us we can't just run it this way. You can't run your create database this way. What is the name of the database we are creating? I'm going to change the database to a capital letter. Database. I'm going to change it to a capital letter. So you can see it's saying create a database. Incomplete statement. You can't run it the way you run show database, because already we have some database. We are just trying to say, okay, show me the database that we have, and that is why it's showing all this. Well, this one is create database. What is the name of the database you want to create? So we are going to give it a name. Create database store. I'm going to make this small letter. Create database store. As you can see, it doesn't give us any error because it's showing blue. That means everything is correct. So the next thing is we can easily run. So we are creating a database store. Then what are we going to put inside the database? We talked about that. So create a database store. Let's run. You can see we have created a database store. Now, the reason why it's not going to show is because we have not asked SQL to show the database. So now let's comment this out and let's ask SQL to show the database. So we can just, instead of copying this, we can just take this away, bring it down. We can just ask SQL to show this database for us. So remember, the database is store. So let's see now. You can see our database store. You can see we have a database store here. So that is exactly what we are saying. Then the next thing is, before we continue, is use a database. So the database we create, we are going to make use of it. That is why I said you have to use the database before you start doing anything. So now we are going to use the database. We can decide to use any of this database. We can decide to use the one we created, but you have to use a database. So then it's going to be, the statement is going to be use. Then what are we going to use? Which of the database do we decide to use? We may decide to use any database that we want. Probably let's use store. Use database store. Now, when we are saying used, we don't have to put used database store. Probably let me copy this and let me put it this way so that you understand perfectly what I'm trying to teach you. You don't have to make it use database store. No. Use database means the name of the database. Probably let me put it here as a comment out, and let me just comment it out here. Use database. Use, let me now put it as in database name. Database. So that is what it means. So use, that means you put the database name. So that is what it means. So we are going to use a database now, and we are going to use the one we created. Use database store. So, and don't forget to always use this. Some might require it, some might not require it. It depends on which of the something you are using to run your SQL. Oh, so the next thing we are going to do is we are going to run. So let's run. You can see. So already we've told SQL to use this database that we create. So that is the database. Now, what does it mean? We can also decide to drop any of this database that we don't want to use. Let's say, for instance, now this database, I can decide to drop it, that I don't want to use it again, and I can decide to pick up another database. Dropping it means you are removing the database from the query entirely. So it's not going to be in the table. You understand? So that's what is meant by drop database. So we are going to be doing that later. So the first thing is you are going to show a database to see which of those databases that you have before you start working. And once you show that you don't have any database, then you have to create a database and you give it a name. Create a database and you give it a name. Then the next thing is you are going to use the database. Then use means you just put the database name. Then this is use. So the next thing is we are going to create table. Because without creating table, there is no how. Table is where you are going to store your information. Your information is going to be inside the table. So the table is going to house your information, is going to house everything you want to create. So the database is just a place whereby your table rests on. Probably let me put it this way in a layman term, and whereby your table is the one that is going to capture, that is going to hold onto the information, that is going to have the information stored in. So anytime you want to retrieve your information in SQL, you don't retrieve the information from database. You retrieve it from table because it's the table that is holding the information. But don't forget that the table is connected to the database because that is the general house. Probably let me put it that way. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create table. And let's come down to create a table just like the way you create a database. So you give it a name, create table. And what is the name you want to give the table? So let's decide. Probably want to give the table pen. Create table, pen. Now, you've already created a table and the name of the table is pen. That does not stop there. The next thing is, what are the information that you want to put into the table? Because you can't just create a table without giving the table name. Already we've given the table name. So what are the information? If I want to retrieve something from the table, do you have anything to retrieve from the table? No. So that is why the table is actually different from the database. So for the table now, we are going to put our information on the table. So create a table pen. That is the name of our table. Then we are going to make the name. So the name, that is just the name of the table. Then what are the things we want to put? Let's just say, for instance, now create a table. Let me not use pen. Let me say create a table, Kelvin. Create a table, Kelvin. You can see Kelvin is a table that I've created. Now, that is the table Kelvin. Probably that is the surname of Kelvin. Then what is the main name of Kelvin? You understand? Or probably in another way, I created a table. The table name is Kelvin. Then what is going to be inside the table? What are the information that I would like to insert inside the table? Kelvin. Or you may decide not to use Kelvin this time around. Probably for you to better understanding, let's put it, create a table man. Now, what is the name of the man? What is the first name of the man? What is the second name of the man? So you can see now, create a table man. The first thing is name. What is the name of the man? So we are going to make it a name. And the name we are going to be using is, we are going to make it a varchar. I'm going to make a video based on that varchar, or I'm going to put some reading in the comment in the video so that you can just be able to read what the meaning is, or you can also Google what the Vasha is, because we have different, we have Vasha, we have other ones. So but in today's video we are using a Vasha. So the Vasha is just the length, the number of letters that you want it to contain. So create a table name, and the table name is, in this case I'm just going to bring this one down. Better, I'm going to bring this down. So don't worry about this red of a thing. It's going to when everything completes, it will be fine. So you don't have to bother yourself about it. So create a table, man, then Vasha. Then we are going to have a Vasha. And don't worry, the Vasha might be small letter, might be big letter, it doesn't really matter. So create a table, Vasha. You can see I have it already. We have verbinary, we have Vasha, we have Vasha character. I will explain all these things step by step later. So the Vasha is just there. I'm making this Vasha. You can also make a small letter or a bigger letter, it doesn't. So that is just the length of what the name should be. If the name of the man is going to be probably just 5 letters, maybe it's just going to be pen, I can just make it 10 character Vasha. So I'm going to make this 50 character long. So I'm going to, you can see that the man, this one that is showing red, has disappeared. So the more you go on, the more the error remove. So that is the name of the Vasha. Probably I can decide to say this is the first name. Let me just make this the first name. The first name, let me put it a small letter. First name Vasha. First name Vasha is 50. Then I'm going to put a comma there just for me to, because you have to put that, otherwise you can continue writing without putting it. So I'm going to put surname, and this time around is going to be surname, or you put it family name, either wherever. So let me just make it first name, family name, and the family name also is going to be a Vasha. So we are talking about the character long, so we have in a Vasha, and I'm also going to make it 50 as well. It's going to be 50, and the next thing is we are going to put the age. What is the age of the man? Then age is going to be an int, because what does it mean? This means this is character length, this is text. So it's going to be the character length, this is the text, it's going to be the character length. Nobody has a first name that is a number, and nobody has a family name that is a number, but age is always a number. So age is going to be an int. So we are going to have our age, and what does it mean? It's going to be an int. What does that mean? That means it's an integer. So let me use a small letter also. Age is going to be an int. So we can decide to put which of the age do we decide to use. Probably I want to make the age of the person, maybe the age should be 35 years old. Maybe the age should be 35. Probably I'm making it the age 35. Then I have to. Then the next thing is I don't have to put a comma at the back of this. So because I'm going to close the brackets. So because already we have a bracket opened here, so I'm going to close the bracket. Then I'm going to use a double, or you call it, you are going to put this at the back. So we already have our table. You can see no one is showing error, so everything is complete. So we run our table now. So already we have our table. Now if I want to comment this out, in order for me to be able to use it, I'm going to use this. In order for me to comment it out, I'm going to use this in order for me to comment it out as well. You can see using this, is different from using this. I can just use this for a small line, though I can also use this for a bigger line. So as we go, I'm going to be teaching you how to comment something out. So that's now we already have our table. So what is the next thing we are going to do? Because we want to see what we have inside our table. So it's going to be show table. Show. I've said it, you can use a small letter, you can use a big letter, but so it's always good. Let me use a bigger letter. So show table. So we are going to have show table. You understand? So it's going to be tables. So show tables, and we are going to see our table. Don't forget that our table name is man. So later on, you can see we have our table as man. Now, we want to see the information that we have inside the table. You know, it has already shown us the table. How do we know if the first name appears? If the second name appears, you can just draw this down. Let's try, put this down a bit. I think that's good. So, how will I know? I want to see the information on the table. I want to see the first name, I want to see the family name, I want to see the age. So how will I be able to do that? So the next thing you're going to do, you can just use description. I'm going to give you this. So just type this D E X. You can see already it's given me. So you can just type this. So you are trying to describe what is there. So man, just put your table name, which is man. So it's going to give us everything about our table man. So let's also run and let's see what we have inside the table. As you can see, look at it, we have our first name, we have our family name, we have our age, which is int. You can see. So these are the things. It's just showing you are describing the table. I want to see what I have inside the table. You understand? So we've already showed table, which is going to show you the column from the table. So you can see show table. It shows us the name of the table, and this table can also be dropped. We can decide to drop this table, we can decide to continue using this table. Then the next thing we are going to do, we are going to insert inside the table. You can see we have not insert anything, just the first name. So the first name we don't know the first name yet. The family name, we don't know the family name yet. The age is int, so we don't know the age. I just put this shouldn't be there. So this is just on a normal thing. So already this is something I should insert. So I shouldn't put the age here. It's a mistake, sorry. Although it doesn't show. So the age should just be the int. These are just the information that I need. So the first name, which is the character length, the second name, which is character length, which is the family name, then the age is int. So I'm telling SQL that the age, I want the age to be int. That means age is going to be a number. So I don't have to put the number initially. So the number should be insert. Now we want to insert into this table. We can just move this down and let this go up a bit. So we want to insert inside the table. So what do we want to insert now? So what are we going to use? We are going to use insert. And this insert is going to give us what we want to insert. Insert already we've created, so we are going to insert into a table cat. Into a table man. So what are we going to do? Then the next thing is we are going to insert. So we are going to make it insert. Already you can see it has already given me insert. So I can decide to use a small letter, I can decide to use a big letter, but let me use a capital letter. Insert. You may ask me what is the difference of using the small letter and the capital letter. To be honest with you, there is no difference. Just that using the capital letter make it more fancy, make it more unique, and make it more professional. So we are going to insert now. So we are going to insert into man. Insert into man. Remember, we have our first name. Don't forget that we have our first name. You can as well put everything in a straight line like this. It doesn't really matter. So you can decide to break it down like this. It doesn't really matter. The way I'm doing it this way is because it's easier to read. And as a professional, so if I'm giving this to someone to read, the person can just say, okay, this. So you can as well make it a straight line. So this, we're going to make this a straight line. So there is no offense making it in a straight line or trying to break it. So we are going to insert into our man table. So what are we going to insert? Number one, we have, don't forget, we have our first name. So you're going to make sure you type your first name. This is our first name. Then you have our family name. You have your family name. Then we have the age. You remember? These are the things we have. Because it will be too long, so because of that, I'm going to bring this down. You understand? So insert into man. What are we inserting into man? We are inserting the first name, the family name, and the age. So that is what we are telling SQL, that look, this is what we want to insert into this, because already we have the first name, we have the family name, we have the age. So we are telling SQL, look, these are the things we want to insert into our table family. To our table man, because already these are the things we gave to SQL. So, and already we have that. Then the next thing is we are going to have our value. So that is the next thing, is our value. You just make it values, and the values also, I can make it a small letter, I can make it also a capital letter, but let me make it a capital letter for a unique purpose. Values. So, and what are the values now? That means the first name. What is the value of the first name? So the value of the first name now is going to be Calvin. So I'm going to make the first name Calvin. That is the value, Calvin. So I'm using Calvin, and don't forget, if you are using Calvin, you have to not just write the Calvin like that. You have to put this Calvin, or probably, let me use Jennifer. Jennifer. The first one should be just a capital letter. So let me just make it Jenny. That is the first name, the value for the first name. Then, what's the value for the family name? The value for the family name, I can decide to use Stone. Probably I'm using Stone for the family name. You can see. Then, what is the age? I can decide to make the age 50. So Jen is 50. You might say, oh, but the table name is man. We just use it to be a man. Okay. If we want everything to be unique, so let's make it Calvin. So we're making this Calvin. So we're making Calvin. That is the first name of Calvin. Look at it. First name is Calvin. This is the value we're talking about. The family name is Stone. Then what is the age? The age is 50. So what do? We cover the brackets. And remember here, we don't use a double bracket, do we? No, we don't use a double bracket. So the next thing we do is we just have to cover it up. So that is what we have to do. Remember this? First of all, you create a table. And when you create that table, probably I should just, you see, you create a table. And once you create your table, create a table man, the first name, Vasha 50, which is character length. That's his first name. Family name, Version 50 character length, age just a hint. So we don't have to make it a character length. So because you may ask me why are we not using character length for the age? No, because age can be 2, can be 3, can be 5, can be 50. So if you are using 50, that is just a 2 character length. So we don't have to specify that. So then the next thing we show the table to see. Then we also use describe to see what we really have inside. Remember, show the table will show you the name of the table, which is man. Then describes, which means, or description, whatever, will give you exactly the information you inserted in it. Then we want to insert into the table now, because already we don't have anything inside. So what we have inside now, what we inside inside is inside into man. First name, family name, age, value, which is Kevin Stone. Then we have age, which is 50. So that is what we have. You can see in our table. So the next thing is we are going to run. So let's run and see. So we've run. You can see it's not showing anything. So that doesn't mean it's not work, as long as it doesn't give you error. So let me just put this up. Let me put this up. Let me put this one up. So when you come down here, you can see everything is showing green, 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 green. That means everything is correct. Then what about this? What is it showing? This is first name. You can see there is a space here, and I believe I've already corrected. So create a table except here, so that's not a problem. So I've already commented this out. So the next thing is we can just comment this out. So because it's not too long, so we can just use. So the next thing is, let's just throw this down. Then we want to see what do we have inside our table. This time around, we have information inside our tables. Because we have information inside our table, we are not going to use this any longer, because already we have information there. So the next thing is we are going to use select statement. Select statement. So you can see this is, I'm going to bring this down. This is select statement. You can see this is the select statement. Now I'm going to comment this out. Select statement is going to give you what do you want to select. So in our select statement, we want to select what we have from the table. So we are going to make select. Let's use a capital letter, and I'm going to put this also for you to see. Select statement, I think I've already zoomed it. So select. Then we are going to make it select star. Make it a capital letter as well. It's good. You can also make it a small letter. Select star from man. What does that mean? It means select everything from man. That is select star from man. That is what it means. Select everything from man. Everything. And what is the man? That is our table. So select everything from man. Let's run and let's see. You can see we have first name Calvin, we have family name Stone, then we have age 50. So that is our select statement. And now let me say I just need to select probably just one something alone. Probably I just need to select the age alone from the man. So I'm still going to use select. This time around, I'm not going to use select star. You know why? Because star means select all. And this time around, I'm not going to select all. I need a particular information. I need the age. Select age. Let me try to see if I can put this more. No. Select age from, let me bring this down so you can see. Select H from, which is the table. Select H from man. Don't forget that the man is the name of our table. So, and let's run. And let's see. You can see the H is 50. So, the next thing is we are going to be dropping this table, but we are not going to be dropping it now. We are not going to be dropping this table now. Probably we are going to, I'm going to teach you how to drop the table, how to drop the database. You know how to create a database now. You know how to create a table already. You know how to insert into the table. You know how to select information from the table. So once again, please, if you find this video interesting, if you find this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share. And when you need something related to SQL, I will be teaching you from beginner to intermediate to advanced and to professional level. You will find everything in this YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Remero Paul, Data and Digital Lab. Please subscribe. See you again.